All right, everyone, welcome. I'm going to be the chair this morning. I'm Nico Leder. I'm at the University of M&M. The rest of the week. And thank you. Hopefully. There we go. And Cassi Lochhaas will just make a few introductions, and then we will have 3 speakers. The time is 10 plus 5 minutes. And I will give a warning about 2 minutes before 10 minutes. And if you don't stop, I will slowly get to you. All right.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Nico. Okay, so I'm just going to give just some brief logistics here. So first of all, thank you, everybody, for coming. We're really glad to have you here at CFA. This is our conference, Multi-Phase Madness, Resolving the CGM in Theory and Observations. So first, I just want to point out who both the SOC and the LOC are. So this is all of us. If you have any issues, if you have questions or comments, or there's something that you need help with, feel free to find any one of us. And I'm just going to ask those of us who are here in the room, could you please stand up just so that we can all see you? All right, great. Thank you. And we also have this email address at the top here. So if you have any concerns and you can't find any of us, just send an email to that. We all have access to that, so we can all get back to you on that. Okay, so here at the CFA, we are in the Phillips Auditorium. You all obviously found your way here, but in case you forget for tomorrow, we are at the northwest corner of the whole big CFA building here. If you're looking for how to get to Mass Ave, to get to restaurants, shops, anything like that, you can just walk right up Linnaean Street here. And then in the building itself, we're sort of way over here. We're actually on level 3 because the building is on a hill. So we came in on level 3. Where we will have lunch is in the lobby. And we will all go there as a group so that we can help you find your way there. But in case you get left behind or lost, you have to sort of go down a bunch of hallways here and turn right to get to the stairs that you can then take down into the lobby. And hopefully that will be a little bit easier to follow once we are all there. If you're looking for the building and you're not sure which side of the building you're on, the tennis courts are near the lobby door, which will be locked. So if you're trying to get back in, you should try to come over to the Phillips Auditorium door over here, where hopefully most of you came in this morning. Okay, so just a brief overview of our schedule. We have breakfast from 8:30 a.m. today and Friday. Tomorrow, the breakfast schedule is a little bit weird. It will actually be during the first break, the mid-morning break. We also will have coffee and some donuts at the afternoon breaks. And then lunches, again, will be in the lobby. If you are going on the boat cruise tomorrow evening, we are departing immediately after the last discussion period tomorrow. And if you want to go on the boat, you have to be there. So you have to make sure that you can get on the bus. And so we are leaving pretty much immediately after that. We have a pretty tight schedule there. So we're going to sort of rush everybody along a little bit. If you need more coffee, if we run out in the back or anything like that, there is a free coffee machine in the lobby. You can go help yourself. There are cups and creamers and everything there. And I mentioned this already, but if you're late or you need to leave and return, come into this door over here by Phillips. It may also be locked. If that is the case, you can send an email to that conference email address, and one of us will come let you in. And then I just want to mention, we should have probably a few local people who are not necessarily registered attendees for the conference. So be friendly. If you see someone who doesn't have a name tag, feel free to talk to them. But we do request that they don't eat the food. Okay, so talks will be 10 plus 5 minutes. Please leave time for questions. We really want to have some good discussion here. And we do have a pretty tight schedule, so we will be enforcing this timing. And there's no need to give any sort of in-depth introduction to the CGM. We are mostly experts here. I'm going to give a very brief introduction to the CGM in just a minute here. You don't need to include that in your talk. Please just focus on your science. So the discussions that we'll have at the end of each day will be just 1 hour. We have small groups. We've already broken all of you up into small groups that we hope are well mixed and will facilitate discussion. So please do stick around for the discussions so that your group doesn't miss you. And the questions will be sort of loosely related to each day's talks as well. And we'll also have time after the small group discussions to sort of come back and have a larger group discussion. Okay, so the actual topics for our conference here, we are very interested in the multi-phase circumgalactic medium. We want to know about the interaction between the hot, warm, and cold phases of the CGM, how we can observe those, how we can characterize those, both the hot and the cold phases from observations and also from simulations as well. And of course, we want to know what the impact of this multi-phase structure is on galaxy formation and evolution as well. We want to learn about near future instruments or new upcoming surveys that can probe the multi-phase CGM, and of course, theoretical and numerical techniques to model the CGM as well. So we're hoping that over the course of the talks for this week, we will be able to hit on a lot of these different topics. In our discussion periods, we'll also cover many of these topics as well. So finally, I will give a very short intro to the circumgalactic medium so that none of you have to. I'm showing these two figures from two recent review papers, so again, none of you have to. We have, of course, our lovely watercolor image here from Tumlinson Peoples and Work 2017. The galaxy at the center, accreting flows, outflows, perhaps some recycling. And then we also have this very multi-phase image from Fauché-Giguère and O 2023 showing, again, we have multiple galaxies with their outflows and inflows, the cold gas and the hot gas, that as we zoom in on smaller and smaller scales, we can see that there's a lot of interesting mixing and multi-phase behavior on even these incredibly small scales of single clouds or interfaces between clouds. And we know that this huge range of scales and huge range of different phases is also connected to a huge range of kinematics that we see in the CGM, all these different bulk flows. We know that we can observe it in both absorption and emission. We need to simulate it on sort of all of these different scales using different types of simulations. And just to sort of briefly cover sort of this definition of what is the CGM, personally, I like to think it has kind of fuzzy boundaries, somewhere from the disk ISM to, somewhere like the virial radius or a little bit beyond that. So with this extremely brief, extremely broad overview, I hope that you all can sort of just dive right into your science. So I'm going to leave it there. Are there any questions about logistics or anything before we get started with the talks for today? So the talks will not be recorded. We do not have a hybrid setup here with the exception of one session this afternoon where we have a few people who couldn't make it who will give their talks on Zoom.
They will be recorded.
Oh, they will be recorded?
Yes,
okay.
But they're not going to be streamed online.
Okay.
So with you guys' permission, we'll post them on YouTube after the fact, but they're not going to be streamed during the conference.
We are not planning on collecting the files from any of the presenters. Yeah.
In case anyone needs, the bathroom is just down the corridor to the right. There's also one downstairs. There's also one upstairs. Random scattering to the bathroom.
Yeah, we recognize the building is very confusing, so if you go wandering looking for a bathroom or something and you end up getting lost, just feel free to send an email to that conference email address. Someone will come find you. Anything else? Okay. All right. And with that, thank you everyone for being here. And I'm going to pass it off now to Sanj, who is giving the first talk.